So, today was the first state of play for PlayStation of 2024. We haven't had one of these since, I believe, August of last year, maybe even before that. It's been a very long time. Sony has finally come out and shown us what we can expect from them over the next, year or so. They showed a ton of games, and I've got to say, it's one of the first times in a very long time that I've watched one of these gaming reveal shows, one of these different, press conference type events, and I left feeling satisfied. Now, over the course of the last, 3 or 4 years, the gaming world has really gone through a transformation from, the E3 days, where you don't really get a lot of these big reveal shows. Sony has really started going very small. They only usually do these very small shows that focus on 1 or 2 games. Microsoft, Xbox never really has any big reveals to show off anyways, and stuff like the Game Awards and the Summer of Gaming and all that stuff, those events usually just end up being extremely, extremely long, 2.5 hours long, and just not really filled to the brim with games. Whereas this State of Play event was 45 minutes of just straight game reveals, both new games and games that we knew were coming that we've been waiting for updates on, and the stuff that we got here is fucking terrific and exciting and explosive and holy shit. So I want to go through pretty much everything at the event that they showed, at least all the stuff that I found interest in, all the stuff that I thought looked really cool, and the stuff that I'm gonna play. I'll try to go in order, but if I, miscue on some of the order of how things came out during the show, I'm sorry, but I'll do my best. So the first thing they showed that really interested me was this game, Stellar Blade. Now, I had never heard about this at all, and when they first started showing the trailer, I thought it kind of just looked like another regular, generic JRPG, but then they started really getting into the trailer, and it kind of looks to be this kind of open world, Horizon Zero Dawn meets Final Fantasy meets, Devil May Cry type action experience. It takes place in this weird world where, all of humanity has been kind of killed off by this weird alien race, and what's left of humanity has to run away to space, and they send these weird soldiers back, or whatever they call them. They send this girl Evie, or Eden, or whoever you play as, and you come in essentially to save the Earth, or something like that. I'm sorry, I know, I'm a bad transcriber of trailers. But the game looks to be a really cool open world experience. Now, this looks like it might be very, very generic. That's the one thing I got from this trailer, is it looks like it could be boring and it could be generic. The characters, the story beats, all of that stuff didn't exactly grab my attention to look super, super interesting, but the combat looked like so much fun, and the world looked really cool, interesting, and expansive, but I think it might end up being a little bit too similar to something like Horizon Zero Dawn, like I said before, for me to really have too much interest in its mystery and the world in general. But this is still one that, I didn't know was coming, and it's coming in, 2 months. They also showed off Helldivers 2 a little more. I never played the first one. I'm not that interested, but if you're somebody that enjoys Helldivers, go ahead. You got a new one coming out. It looks cool, I guess. There's also a new Sonic game, or a Sonic remake or something. If you're into Sonic, there you go. You got something new to look forward to as well. But then we get to the next thing that really interests me, and it was 2 things coming from Silent Hill. Now, we knew we were going to get an update on the Silent Hill 2 remake, a game that is highly, highly anticipated, especially in a world where we're getting these amazing, big, expansive Resident Evil remakes. Now we get to see Silent Hill, which is just as big and just as terrifying of a franchise, get one of its, if not its best game, remade. Yet again, it's being made by Bloober Team, who has had some misses in their past. I wasn't a big fan of the Medium, and some of their Layers of Fear games are just not very good. But this trailer for Silent Hill 2 remake looks pretty fucking great. It looks like a high-quality Resident Evil-like remake. The graphics look amazing. The combat looks definitely upgraded from what it was in the past. Game looks spooky. And yeah, this is one that I'm excited to play, and I will be doing a playthrough of it on this channel when it comes out, because I think that'd be a lot of fun to do. And it looks like something that's going to be right up my alley. Is it going to be great? We'll see. But an even bigger surprise, and something that I'm still at the moment trying to figure out what it is, was this weird new Silent Hill game that's out now, and it's free to play. It's called Silent Hill Short Message, and I have a feeling this is probably going to end up being like a PT sort of thing, kind of like that Resident Evil 7 demo when that came out, like a weird precursor to something else. I have a feeling that's probably what this is, but I haven't played it yet. I'm installing it right now on my PlayStation, and I'm going to try to do a playthrough of it on this channel. I think that would be cool. It'd be a nice thing that for my first playthrough or something, or a video covering a game really in depth, to be this. So yeah, look forward to that. But I don't know, it looks kind of cool. It looks first person, and it looks terrifying. You're playing as like a girl, like a teenage girl or something. It looks to have some kind of involvement with social media and the fears of being exposed on social media or something. I don't know, but it looks interesting. I'm interested to see if this is actually a full game that they just shadow dropped for free, or if it's like some sort of weird demo for Silent Hill 2. Like, that's what I'm assuming this is probably actually. We also got another gameplay trailer for that weird game Judas, the game that looks like BioShock. I remember when they first announced this game, you know, like a year back or whenever it was announced, I was like, oh my god, here's the new BioShock game. This looks incredible. And then the title came up, Judas, and I was like, what the fuck? That's not BioShock? It looks very BioShock-y. I don't know what it actually is, though. It's BioShock meets Arcane Studios type gameplay, first-person, weird, you know, world-bending, you know, storytelling. I don't know. I'm spitballing here just words to describe it, but it's something that I'm definitely interested in. It's a first-person shooter that I'm going to be playing when it comes out, and yeah, it looks really cool. We got another trailer for Dragon's Dogma 2. Now, this is a game there's a lot of gameplay of and a lot of trailers out on the internet right now because it's coming out in like a month. And I got my eyes on it. I'm very interested, so stay tuned on this channel for some Dragon's Dogma 2 content. And we also got a more in-depth trailer of Rise of the Ronin. Now, this is another game that I was kind of interested in. I made a video breaking down my most anticipated games of the year a few weeks ago, and it was definitely on that list. This looks like a more hardcore Ghost of Tsushima, kind of like a Souls-like Ghost of Tsushima, open world, you know, feudal Japan type game. It looks really, really cool. The combat to me does not exactly look like something I'm that into, in the sense that in this trailer, there's so many moments of like hitting a guy with a fucking katana over and over and over and over, and he's just still going, still kicking around like I didn't hear no bell. And you know, like shit like that, like I don't know, I kind of like realism in my game, so maybe that might turn me off from it, but a lot of the open world aspects looked really cool, the traversal stuff looked really cool, and I am a sucker for anything like old Japan. I think this one takes place in the early 19th century, and a lot of the boss fights in the trailer looked cool, and this is one that I'll probably end up checking out. But then we get to the big boy. And when I say big boy, I mean Hideo Kojima.
I'm back!
Hideo Kojima, if you know me personally, which none of you probably do, but Hideo Kojima is one of my favorite creators alive. Not just in filmmaking, not just in video game making, but just in general. I think he's one of the best artists, one of the best visionary storytellers we have alive. This guy has made some of the greatest things I've ever experienced, mainly the Metal Gear Solid universe, but I fucking love Death Stranding. I think it is one of the biggest swings ever taken in this medium of video games. I think it is so different from anything else in the world. Is it a walking simulator? Kind of, but it's also just an experience that I've never had in any other video game. There were moments playing that game that were so visceral and so engaging and just so mesmerizing that I'll never forget them, and it made for one of the best gaming experiences ever. So of course, I'm excited for the goddamn sequel, Death Stranding 2, which is now called Death Stranding on the Beach, apparently, and he gave us a 10-minute trailer. Yeah, a 10-minute freaking trailer. This thing looks unbelievable. I don't know where to start. There's a lot of stuff in this trailer that I was like, are they spoiling the game for us right now? But to put a long story short, essentially it seems that we are now going to Mexico and South America, and we're trying to connect them to the United States that we spent rebuilding in the first game. And the world is still kind of fucked up, which at the end of the first game, the world kind of wasn't fucked up anymore, but I guess now it's fucked up in a different way. So, like, you know, weird things are happening. You have George Miller, who looks like he's playing like a Nazi, and they've kind of insinuated that the government that you spent the whole first game kind of building up has sort of turned and become sort of bad, and now you have this drawbridge company or whatever that's kind of like the good guys, and you're working for them, and I don't know, freaking Norman Reedus is gray for some reason.
I don't know what the hell's going on in the most wonderful way.
You have Troy Baker coming out, playing his character again. I think his name is Briggs or Griggs, I forgot, but he's so cool, and Troy Baker is so amazing, and he's got a guitar, and he's fighting a gigantic cyborg robot, and Kojima is leading completely into the weirdness. Like, he could not stay serious and melodramatic for that long. He, at some point, was going to jump full balls in on the weirdness, and now we have Troy Baker with a guitar fighting a giant baby cyborg. Yes, we are at that level. But this game still seems to have all the cinematic landmarks and cinematic storytelling beats that Hideo Kojima is known for. The music in this trailer was great. The visuals, this game looks like it has taken a massive step up on visuals from the first game, which was, by the way, was a beautiful, beautiful looking game. But this one, you have deserts now, you have these vast, vast landscapes. It seems like you're gonna have weather conditions. There's a part of the trailer where you see almost like a tsunami-like wave knocking down one of the bridges he built. So traversal is gonna have all these other elements when it comes to weather. There seems like there's going to be more of a focus on combat, at least when you walk into the room and you see all these weapons. There's so many more weapons in there than there were in the original game, which makes me think there's going to be more combat than in the first one, which is great. The story just seems so much more expansive, so much more deep. It's studying, you know, the first game was about bringing us all back together, and now this game is going to be about, should we actually be together? Because people kind of fucking suck, man. And it seems like this is going to be the game that's really interesting. It's going to have the most interesting conversation that Kojima was trying to have in this universe, and I'm so excited for it. The performances are all going to be great. Where's Lou? Where's baby Lou, man? Come on. Oh, it just all looks so terrific, and it's coming out in 2025 along with GTA 6 and just about everything else. Everything's coming out next year. So yeah, 2025 gonna be the greatest year of my life. Hopefully I make it. But I'm so excited for this. The whole reason I was excited for this press conference was for this game, and it completely delivered. I was disappointed at the Game Awards a couple months ago when this didn't show up, when instead he showed off Overdose, which is some other weird game that he's working on. But yes, finally, we get Death Stranding 2 in its full glory, and I'm just so ready for this to come out. It's going to be amazing when it does. But we're not done, because Kojima's a fucking madman. Not only is he making Death Stranding 2, not only is he making some weird horror game for Xbox, that Overdose thing that has a bunch of great actors, and it looks like it's going to be this very experimental type game, not only is he also making a Death Stranding movie, but now he has also announced a third game that he is now working on with Sony. It's going to be a PlayStation exclusive, and we don't know much about it, but the president of PlayStation and Hideo Kojima himself came on screen to talk about it, and they announced that it's going to be a espionage action game, which sounds like Metal Gear Solid. Now, it's not going to be Metal Gear, because Sony does not own Metal Gear, Hideo does not own Metal Gear, Konami owns Metal Gear, and Konami, they suck balls. But there's going to be a brand new IP, and we know that it's going to be an action game. So it's not going to be a walking simulator. So everybody that's mad at Kojima for making a walking simulator, you're going to have a good game coming. You know, it's going to be a big action espionage stealth game. And it's going to have all of the Kojima madness that we know and love. He's already said that the game is going to be mostly game, but also mostly movie. It's going to be very cinematic, which if you play any Kojima game, you know exactly what he means by that. If you've never played a Kojima game, essentially what it means is you're getting a big video game experience, but you're also getting like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours worth of cutscenes, and characters that are being played by actors like Norman Reedus, and George Miller for some reason, and Guillermo del Toro, and weird people. He also kind of mentioned that this game was going to have some weird connection to real-life movie, like it might actually be a movie as well at some point. I don't know. All I know is that we're getting an action stealth game like Metal Gear, probably going to be very different from Metal Gear, but something in that genre from Kojima coming in the future, the way future. He said after Death Stranding 2, probably after Overdose as well, but he couldn't mention that because it's a PlayStation thing and Overdose is an Xbox game, but probably after that as well, we will be getting another big game. And Kojima, God, just take my money now. I will donate all of the money to buy these games right now because you are a legend and this man is a workaholic, and I am so excited for everything that he announced. Yeah, what did you guys think if you watched it? Are you guys excited for any of these games? Like, let me know down below. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. I make videos on movies, TV, video games. I make it on everything, whatever I'm feeling. Make sure to leave me, so make sure to sub. I upload every day. But yep, I will see you guys in the next video.